to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the newly released Transformers Netflix War for Cybertron Deluxe Class Cheetor. Now, before we get into the review, I first of all want to have a little discussion with you all in regards to Wave 3 of these Netflix figures. Of course, we have pretty much got confirmation of the entire wave, and it does appear as if they shall all in fact be repaints. Something which, if I'll be completely honest with you all, I actually find to be pretty lazy. Of course, with Wave 2, whilst it was a mix of repaints, we also got some new sculpts as well as some retooled characters. Most noticeably would be, of course, Netflix Soundwave, Elita 1 and Bumblebee, and I also thought that some of the colorizations to those Wave 2 figures were really impressive. Don't get me wrong, I think here with Wave 3 we are getting some fantastic repaints, but it would have been awesome to have actually got included some new accessories with these figures, such as the gut gun. Unfortunately, this gut gun here doesn't come with this Netflix Cheetor. That is the gun that came packaged with the RED Cheetor. And another thing that I would have loved to have seen with this wave, and is honestly something that I actually find to be a major missed opportunity, is that if you will recall, we did actually get a builder set which was Teletran 1 in Wave 1 and 2, whereas here with Wave 3 there is no builder piece collectible at all, and I really think that we could have got a Transmutate. A builder figure Transmutate would have made this wave pretty much sell out almost instantly, and it would have been something really refreshing, and I think that it would have been also a very nice homage to the original Transmutate figure, which was of course a builder figure. So please feel free to let me know down in the comment section below on what you guys do think of these Netflix figures. Are these something that you shall actually be adding to your collection, or do you find them all to be an easy miss? And of course, let me know your thoughts on what I would have liked to have seen, that being of course a builder figure Transmutate. But regardless, taking a look here at Netflix Cheetor, honestly I actually do find this figure here to be a little crafty on Hasbro's part, as this has literally come fresh off the heels of the Kingdom Cheetor, which of course, whilst was a pretty decent deluxe class figure, it had a very inaccurate colour scheme to how Cheetor originally appeared in of course the Beast Wars series. This figure gives him a much more saturated look, darker colour tones, and the metallic blue that we have all been wanting ever since that Wave 1 Cheetor was announced. Of course, for those of you who missed out on Wave 1 Cheetor, this is going to be an absolute instant buy, and I really do think that this is going to be the hot seller out of this Wave 3 Netflix Deluxe wave. Taking a look here at the details, you can see that as far as the head sculpt is concerned, the colour of plastic that they have actually used here for the yellow is a lot darker, of course, to match what we got in the Beast Wars series, and I really do think that it complements the sculpt incredibly well. I have got to be honest and say that I love the shade of metallic blue that we have got here for the plastic shoulders, as well as even here for the metallic paint used for the face, and I think that the colour match between the cast plastic and the paint is really well done. You can see some nice sharper details there to the sculpt, such as the eyes, nose and mouth, and we also do have a tiny Maximal insignia printed here on Cheetor's crest. As we take a look here to the torso region, as this is the same sculpt as the original Kingdom Wave 1 figure, you guys are all going to pretty much know what to expect. Unfortunately, this Cheetor does still have that awful peg of doom, however we shall go into that when I do actually transform him. Mine did have a horrible QC defect here, where pretty much half of the black paint of the nose has been completely scratched off, so that certainly does suck. But you can also see the cheetah dots here, which have all been applied exceptionally well. Of course, the arms here are really nice, and a detail which I actually missed on the original version is that if you do pull the arm away, here on this almost shoulder plate, we do have this disc detailing, which I think is really nice, and it's of course a homage to that original Cheetor design. As we take a look here to the crotch plate, this has been completely coated in a very nice metallic blue, but Hasbro have been so lazy and have completely missed the metallic blue highlights here for Cheetor's shins. I have no idea why they did this, as if they were painted, this pretty much would be the definitive transformable deluxe Cheetor that we have ever gotten. As it stands, I do actually still really like the original Wave 1 release, as that figure had a lot more paint as far as the blue was concerned, and if they would have just added that metallic blue, this figure would have no doubt absolutely obliterated that original version. I really hate when they do this. This figure here is merely just a repaint, so there is no reason as to why this area should be unpainted, and it really does frustrate me. As we spin around here to the back, of course, it is pretty much what we have all come to expect from this Kingdom Cheetor mold. It's a pretty decent mold, albeit not perfect. Of course, we do unfortunately still have some proportion issues, but these are all something that we have come to expect with this particular mold. As far as articulation rotation is concerned, the head can of course look left to right as well as up and down to quite a great degree. We do get rotation here at the arms, although it is slightly restricted due to this shoulder region. They can of course hinge out to the sides, full rotation here at the bicep, 90-degree bend there at the elbow, as well as a full rotation here at the wrist. Due to transformation, we also do get a butterfly joint, full rotation here at the waist. This plate, for whatever reason, can still hinge forwards and backwards. The legs can kick forwards that far, back to that far, out to the sides. Full rotation here at the thigh, 90-degree bend there at the knee. And then finally, of course, this signature War for Cybertron trilogy ankle rocker pivot. Now, as mentioned at the opening segment of this review, this Netflix Cheetor does not come with a gut gun, which once again, much like the colorization here to the legs and the lack of a Build-A-Figure piece, I find to be a major missed opportunity, as I'm pretty sure it would have solidified any collector's decision who already picked up the first one to pick up this one, as everyone wants that Cheetor gut gun. Unfortunately, we still only get the tail whip, which is an accessory which I personally just completely disregard, as it actually has less paint on it than when compared to the original Kingdom version. We no longer have the blue here at this section, but the rest of the tail has been painted pretty nicely. And of course, here for the Cheetor comparison, we have the new Netflix version on the right and the Wave 1 Kingdom here on the left. Now, I will not deny at all, I do definitely think that the new Netflix version is leaps and bounds better as far as the colorization is concerned. The metallic blue, as well as the darker, more saturated color scheme to the main body of Cheetor is leaps and bounds better. I was never really completely impressed with the very light baby blue color scheme that we did get on the original version, but you can just see how much more paint this figure here has. This entire section here is painted, the shins are painted, whereas here on the Netflix version, this is completely unpainted. And as this figure here was the first time we were ever getting this mold, I really would have expected this one to actually lack paint than compared to the actual re-release. Why does the re-release, which is just a reuse of a pre-existing mold, got less paint on it than compared to the first production run? It's something that completely baffles me, and correct me if I'm wrong, but here, at least in the UK, these Netflix figures are more expensive than compared to the original versions. So I definitely do think that whilst the colorization is better for the Netflix release, Hasbro once again definitely did drop the ball massively on this figure. If you would have said to me around the time that this figure came out that they were going to be reissuing this Cheetor with a much more toon accurate color scheme, I would have almost been certain that the entire figure would have been painted head to toe. But as it stands, Hasbro just completely cheaped out on this release and really just gave us the bare minimum as far as a repaint is concerned. Now, very quickly going over Cheetor's transformation, Cheetor Maximize. It is exactly the same as the first release. So of course you're going to want to come here to the torso and just hinge these sections out, take the head, rotate this here to the back, take the actual cheetah head itself, and this still is such an awful step to actually do. You want to pull this entire region forward, and surprisingly I have actually transformed this figure more times than my original version, and this tab hasn't as of yet broke, although I'm pretty certain that over time it will break. As you can see here, it has begun to stress out. So we just want to overlap this here, and then we can take the arms, just bring those around, rotate the wrists, and align that up appropriately. Come here to this side and repeat the exact same process. Just snap that into place. We can then take the side panels, clip them in there, bring these pieces here up and over, bring this around, take the jaw, bring that forwards, take the feet, fold these to the back, and of course extend the cheetah legs, and repeat the exact same process here for the opposite side, and just bring all of this down and around, according everything so that Cheetor does look in proportion with himself. And then we can just take the tail and of course snap that into place. And here we have the all new Netflix Cheetor fully transformed up into, of course, his cheetah alt mode. And I actually think this here looks superb. As far as this mode is concerned, I have no critiques with the paint apps at all. I think they did an absolute fantastic job. The colorization, as mentioned throughout this review, is leaps and bounds better. And a reason behind why maybe they did decide to leave the metallic blue off the shins is so that when we do have him in the cheetah mode, he doesn't have no blue here on the back of his actual cheetah legs, which is something that I can understand. So in some ways I am able to give that a pass, but in robot mode, for me, I've always wanted the robot mode to be prioritized over the alternate mode, so I still do kind of want that metallic blue paint. But nevertheless, you can see that as far as the actual cheetah spots are concerned, they too have all come out exceptionally well. We've got that fantastic fur texturing detailing that we got on the original run of this figure, and the face sculpt too looks really nice. Unfortunately, of course, we do have the paint blemish on the nose, but you can see there we've got some exceptional detailing in the interior of Cheetor's mouth, including an actual sculpted tongue, which was something I never actually noticed on the previous version. The pupils are still not painted, but I actually think that is a good design choice, as I think they would have looked rather peculiar in robot mode, and you know Hasbro with minute details, they could have looked really off, so I think it was just best that they did leave them painted here in green, which I do actually prefer when compared to the original release, which of course had blue eyes. Articulation is the same, so we do get an opening jaw, we do get ball joints here at the shoulders, which can rotate left to right, as well as of course rock in and out. We do get a rotation here at where I imagine the knee joint would be, a ball joint here at the foot, and the same can also be said here for these back legs, so we do get a hinge joint here at where I presume the top of the leg would be, and then one here at the knee, and then finally a ball joint here at the foot. So overall, a really impressive looking cheetah mode, and I actually think the robot mode too is pretty nicely done. And before we begin wrapping this review up, here we have the new Netflix Cheetor compared next to, of course, the Kingdom version, and you can just see the vast difference as far as the colorization is concerned, and I'm pretty certain that all of you guys will agree with me in saying that the new Netflix version does ultimately abolish the original Wave 1 release. The colors are just so much better. I really love how the green complements the overall design of the head when compared here to the orange, which I didn't think was a bad color choice, but I do think the green is vastly superior. Having looked at all of the figures that I've reviewed so far, of course, Cheetor, Sparkler Spot, and the Decius Army Drone, I will be honest and say that Cheetor is probably the figure that I would pick up the most out of all of them. I think that he's, of course, not only a very popular character, but his color scheme is leaps and bounds better than compared to this version, and if you really are just after a very accurate looking, updated, transformable version of Cheetor, then I think this Netflix version will ultimately be the best one to go with. I really would love to know down in the comment section below your guys' thoughts on this particular figure. Shall you be adding him to your collection? Do you agree with any of the points that I mentioned in this video? I really do find the lack of a Build-A-Figure to be a major missed opportunity here for Hasbro, and especially considering that this deluxe wave is only comprised of 4 figures than as opposed to wave 1 and 2, which all had 5. I think a Build-A-Figure would have been absolutely fantastic, but nevertheless, it is a nice repaint for those of you who want a more accurate looking Cheetor, although for those of you who are suffice with your original version, then as with all of these Netflix repaints, I think this figure here could potentially be a very easy pass. I thank you all for watching, and until my next review, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.